This is Paul. Compensation. Yeah. When compensation not fully available from the offender or other sources, yeah, known as the 50 states and the United States of America, the individual states that are members of the United Nations should endeavor to provide financial compensation to. Yeah. Myself as a victim. My five sons, Marilyn and her kids. Yeah, we have sustained significant bodily injury or impairment of physical or mental health as a result of serious crime. Now, this mental health, yeah, it's the separating. Yeah, it's not that I have a delusion. Yeah, a schizophrenia or bipolar. It's the want to have a bonding with my sons where I was there at the time of their birth. Yeah, I cut their umbilical cord. No, it's not that kind of mental health. Yeah, not the a mental illness or mental defect. Yeah, it's the 9 years of separation from having their love available to me. Yeah. Now, for all the stupid individuals that don't understand parenting, the posterity of having children, yes, and them having grandchildren, yes, is the experience of parenting for the last 9 years. Yes. Now, my wife kidnapped my sons, ooch, and I really do think that the United States federal government is incapable of paying me enough money. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure that the Middle East nations understand right now the mental health laws of not having the bonding of being a parent. Now, it should be that the parents in the Middle East really do appreciate their kids. Yeah. And as much as you want to stereotype that they don't, well, value family, I think in their culture, family is very important. Now, the United States, yeah, has taken the view that family is of no importance. Yes. And as often as I've told the chiefs of police, ooch, as many times as I've documented to those in the police departments, yeah, I've told them that it's a fraud. Right now, for the family in the Middle East, yeah, those little kids that grow up. Right now. I'm going to make sure that they're upset. Pooch, they're going to dislike me as a resident of their individual nations. Yeah. They're going to find me a real thorn in their side. Yeah. Because every time I get upset, I'll remind them of their family buying property in the nations that have the greatest amount of population growth. It makes me want to make sure that there's plenty of extra food for myself and my family so that I can sell produce right now in the Middle East. Mhm. Now, restorative justice, which is an approach to justice in which one of the responses to a crime is to organize a meeting between the victim and the offender. Yeah. Now, let's say I had a meeting with the Squim Police Department. Yeah. And I said to the officers, you do realize I wasn't there on December 31st. And then you'd say, well, I got paid and I did what they said. Yeah. And I'd say that that's racketeering. Yeah. Extortion, and coercion. Yeah. Now, for those that don't really appreciate this, yeah, I can use my water and my property right now to sell food. And for those that thought, well, we do not have to restore an individual to their place where they were before the adverse effects, yeah, of the false accusation of family violence, child abuse, and assault. I'd say you have to restore me to trillions of dollars of lost revenue right now because the United States refuses to acknowledge their own federal laws. Yeah. Now, I'm going to hold liable all the nations, and specifically the Middle East, because when you have that much sunshine, yeah, it just takes a little water, fertilizer, yeah, and then you have a very fertile. Now, restorative justice means that you remove the adverse effects of the false arrest. Yeah, the fabricated evidence, the false imprisonment, which you give me back my son so that I can have that mental health bonding with them as their father. And then you make absolutely sure, yes, that you never obstruct me or any other individual of any nation of the world, yes, from the actual enforcement of the federal laws of the United States. And now, get me all of the travelers to the United States that the Judicial Redress Act of 2015. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we have a large class lawsuit. Now, the four secretaries that didn't have enough to do, oops, you decided that you would be the only ones that could decide the status of foreign nations. Well, I have to take into consideration the property that I own in other nations every time the cabinet of the White House makes any decisions. And it could be a lot easier for me to own property because if you start a new war, I will make absolutely sure that the White House and its employees understand why it is that they're not in prison. Now, I have the legal right to put in prison right now,